Welcome to day 151. We are at Proverbs 14 through 16 and got a lot of really cool things today. Got about 5 points I want to make. The future of evil bowing before good. We're in Proverbs 14, verse 19. It says, I'm sorry, that's not right. 14, I was in 15 there. 14, verse 19. Evil people will bow before good people. The wicked will bow at the gates of the godly. Okay, so there's just a reference that eventually evil people, bad people, they're going to get theirs. The vengeance is the Lord's, and there's a purpose for it. So the next thing is that God watches everywhere. He sees good and evil. So in 15 verse 3 it says, the Lord is watching everywhere, keeping his eye on both the evil and the good. And there's a purpose for evil. Let's talk about death and destruction. 15:11. Even death and destruction hold no secrets from the Lord. How much more does he know the human heart? So he understands all the things that are going on. He understands the turmoil. He understands that, gosh, why is all these things happening to us? There's a purpose for evil, a purpose for disaster. And that mentions even death and destruction hold no secrets. So like death and destruction being a person or a being of some sort. If you look in Revelation 6:8, this is the fourth seal that's being broken. I looked up when the verse 7 and 8, when the Lamb broke the fourth seal, I heard the fourth living being say, "Come." I looked up and saw a horse whose color was pale green. Its rider was named Death, and his companion was the grave. All right? They were given authority over 1/4 of the earth, killed with sword, famine, and disease, and wild animals. So, death and destruction. Anytime there's war, there's death, and there's destruction, and there's famine and disease. It follows all that because it wipes out all the utilities in the cities and that people need. So it destroys a whole bunch of stuff. So there's a reference for death in Revelation and in Proverbs. So 16:4, along with what we've been talking about, it's funny. Not funny. It's cool to look that all of this is tied together about how we should live, good and evil, and vengeance and reward. The day of disaster, 16:4. The Lord has made everything for his own purposes. It wasn't just because he loved us, it was for his purposes. Even the wicked for a day of disaster. So there will be disasters. There will be problems. There will be a time of anguish. But there will also be a time of reward and joy for those who persevere. Then I always like to say that there is no such thing as luck. And I think I found a good verse for this. Chapter 16, verse 33 says, "We may throw the dice, but the Lord determines how they fall." God is not bound by time. Therefore, he understands what's going to happen. He also wrote everything about us in a book about our lives before we were born, before time began. He wrote all of this. Our days are numbered. He knows exactly what's going to happen. So therefore, he also knows if I roll the dice, literally, he knows the outcome before I do. Okay? He determines how they fall. He is not bound by chance. So there is no such thing as luck when you're dealing with God. Don't want to depend on luck. I'd rather depend on the Lord. That is your day 151. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.